Okay, good morning. Okay, untuk hari ini kita berkolaborasi bersama Valrhona. Okay, so thank you for everyone sudi datang, and then boleh tepuk sikit untuk anda semua. Okay, thank you. So, normally kita akan ada live demonstration. So, live demonstration hari ini akan dikondak oleh Chef Arief Rusli. Okay, yang mana merupakan pastry chef untuk Valrhona, Southeast Asia punya regional lah. And then hari ini, so chef akan conduct satu resepi, and then chef juga akan explain tentang Valrhona, mananya datang Valrhona, macam mana wujudnya Valrhona, and then siapa-siapa yang ada soalan boleh directly tanya Chef Arief lah. So tanpa melengahkan masa lagi, saya jemput Chef Arief untuk start kita punya session lah.
Okay. Alright, everybody can hear me? Good morning. My name is Arief. I am the Valrhona Southeast Asia pastry chef representative. So, today, okay. Live. Oh, okay. So, right. So, my name is Arief. I am the Valrhona pastry chef for Southeast Asia. I am based in Malaysia. If you have any questions, I can answer them. I dua bahasa. I boleh bahasa Melayu boleh, English boleh. Mandarin I tak bagus sebab I tak cakap Mandarin. Tapi kalau you have any questions that you're not very comfortable kan. Sebenarnya like I said, every time when I do a demonstration with Valrhona, I like to make sure that everybody is comfortable. Why? Because this is not so much a class. This is more of a sharing session. Okay? We do have classes, but then that one is a bit more intense, and then it's from morning until afternoon. So this one we divide into two. So I'm going to show what I can, but in the meantime, what I really want is I want participation. Meaning, if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask. I really want to answer them, and I really want to clarify everything else. Okay? A few ground rules. If you have any phone calls, please make them outside. If you're going to ask me, can I take photos, can I take videos, please. I encourage that. But what I encourage most is I encourage questions. All right? So without further ado, I'm going to begin by explaining a bit about our brand. So I'm from Valrhona. So Valrhona is a French chocolate brand. We're based in France. So if you've been to France, dia dekat Lyon, about maybe 1 hour by train from Lyon, and dia macam kampung sikit lah. So in that place, Damansara, where we are from, there's only two big companies, which is one is Valrhona, the other one is called Chocolate, which is a wine company. Before you ask, all of our chocolates, all of it, semua hanya datang daripada Damansara. Meaning we don't have any other factory elsewhere. Tak ada. This is important for me to tell you. Why? Because if the main question that I always get, or the main comment that I always get about our brand is that, oh, it's so expensive, it's so expensive. One of the main reason is because we only have one production plant, and our production plant is based in France. That's one of the main reasons. But as we progress in the class, I will explain to you why and this and that. So we're about 100 years plus. A bit of background. For our company, we mainly make chocolates, of course, Valrhona, but we are in a bigger umbrella brand called Valrhona Selections. So under the Valrhona Selections, we have other brands. Some of them House of Ingredient carries, like Sosa. Sosa is a technical sugar, technical ingredient brand. For those of you who are professionals, you will know Sosa for doing things like the pectin, the technical sugars, the emulsifiers and all that. That's Sosa. They are part of us. And then we also have other brands, right? We have Adamance, which is our puree brand, which we don't have here in Malaysia yet. And then we have other brands like our aroma brands called Noroi. We specialize in vanilla and other aroma things. But so today's focus is I want to talk about Valrhona. Before I go on as well, a bit of background. I am part of the Valrhona school, or École Valrhona. So there's 5 schools in the world. So 2 in France, 1 in Paris, 1 in Tanamitage itself, 1 in Brooklyn, New York, 1 in Dubai, and the other one is in Tokyo. I report to Tokyo. So I'm part of the Asia Pacific team, and there's 12 of us. There's me, and then there's the Korean team, the Chinese team, the Japanese team, and there's a Hong Kong team who takes care of Australis and also Macau and Philippines. All right. So let's talk about what we're going to do today. So if you refer to your recipes, this first session is about plant-based things. Why I say plant-based and I don't say vegan? Well, it's what we want to understand from the get-go, from the very beginning is, most of you don't know, but your sugar, most of the time, this is not vegan. Ah, surprise. Why is it not vegan? Well, it's not vegan because, I don't know if you know much about sugar production. When they get the cane sugar, they have to purify it. They have to make it turn into white first. And then after they turn into white, and then they add the molasses into brown. In order for it to make it white, they usually sometimes use a matter made out of bones to extract the impurities. There is no animal product in the after, but because of cross-contamination, they use that. So technically, sugar is not vegan lah. So just so everybody knows, it's not vegan. Is it plant-based? Yes. Meaning, it's not vegan, but it's plant-based. So to be called vegan, you have to make sure everything from your source does not have cross-contamination at all whatsoever with animal-based products. So this one, I want to make sure everybody is clear. So in this part of the world, it's not super critical because we're quite forgiving. But in order, like maybe in Europe or especially in the UK, where they're very, very serious about certification and whatnot, you can't just call things vegan. It has to be certified. Great? Clear? Right. So that's why I say it's plant-based, not vegan. Okay? So now, what am I going to do? I'm going to do a plant-based cake. The plant-based cake has 3 elements. And because we are sharing, I tested out something 2 days ago, and I like it. So I want to put it in as well. But it's not in your recipe list. So if you have question about this, you can ask me later. All right? So the cake is based on 3 elements. The first element is the cake itself. The second element is the whipped praline. And the final element is actually the Eskimo. I don't know why it's called Eskimo, but Eskimo basically means it's a covering of the cake, like a glaze. And we'll talk about the individual components later, so let's talk about the first thing. So, first things first, whenever you want to make a plant-based product, especially for pastry, the most difficult thing for you to do is you need to replace 2 things. Yes, the primary thing to replace is eggs, which is a bit difficult to replace. Why? Because the proteins are not similar to anything you get in plant-based things. However, there are alternatives, but the problem as well that I face every time when I see customers is that they expect the plant-based product to be exactly like the non-plant-based product. So I think this is absurd. We need to change our perspective on this because it's not the same. Like, I like to use this as an example. You know, there's the Chinese vegetarian food, right? There's the vegetarian char siu. All right, so technically it's vegetable, right? But there's also the real char siu, right? It's not the same thing. You know, you can make it look like char siu. It has the red, the white, whatever. But it's not the same thing. It's either made out of soy or it's made out of this thing called seitan. Or I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, which is the the gluten from the flour. So it's not the same thing. But then with that, people are accepting. So you're like, oh, it's okay, it's not the same thing. But whenever it's cake, it's like, oh, why doesn't it taste like the cake with eggs? So we need to change our minds. It's not eggs. You cannot replicate it 100%. You can replicate a few things, but there's no one-to-one solution to this. This one, everybody needs to understand. There's no magic product. There's no like, you use this, one-to-one, you can become like egg. No. Certain things you can. So like in this case, I'm using chia seeds, which is fine. But it's not applicable on everything. Meaning, this thing I cannot whip. If I want to whip, I'll probably use, oh, where's my box? Hey, where's my box? Where's my box? It's gone. Okay, never mind. Do you know chickpeas, right? So you know the canned chickpeas? You can use the water. It's called aquafaba. Yes, if he can find it. Can you find it? The can? There's a can? There's a can of thing? No? No? Tak ada? Oh, sorry, before I forget, this is Kenny. He will be assisting me today. He's a bit nervous because it's his first time. So I'm nervous too, but he's more nervous. So please don't see, it's turning red already. It's fine. So I need you to go, and you know that box I had just now with my ingredients? Ada satu dalam can punya. Itu kacang. Ada? Sini ah? Ah, sini. Ah, okay, thank you. Okay, he woke up already. All right, so this is canned chickpeas. So this one is actually, you can use the water lah. So the water can replicate the egg white texture. So you can whip it actually. Ah, yes, yes. So a lot of the time you can try to replicate egg whites. However, it doesn't bake as well. You can, but it does not bake as well. However, because I have my classic friends over there at the back, we also sell something called potato whip, which is similar to this, but it's more of a technical product. They don't carry it in Hoi, but the people in Classic carry it. You guys carry it, right? Yes. So we have things like this. But that one is more for the professionals because we don't sell that potato whip in the Hoi for now. But maybe in future we sell, I don't know. So, but you can use this. It's a canned chickpea water. And if you don't have canned chickpea, you can use any kind of bean-based product. Red bean and all that, you can try. It can work just to replicate the egg whites. You can. All right? So, there's one, there's this. There's a lot of other things I have tried. But for me, the one that I like mainly, I like this one. The chia seed. I like, but the problem is you will have the chia seed dots. Some people not cool with it. And sometimes I have this, I use this one. But the problem with this one is, every time you use the egg white, you have the chickpea, you know, so unless your shop sells hummus, what you're gonna do with the chickpea that you already drained, right? You can make hummus, a salad, there you go. You can eat all the salad you want, all right? So this one I bought in, they don't sell it here. They don't. You don't sell it here, right? Tak jual. I bought it in any grocery shop. I don't care any brand. This one's called La Diva. There's Cumanya, some of them, the liquid is a bit salty. This one is not as salty. Okay? Great. So, let's look at the ingredients. Oh yeah, before I go on. This one I want to make it clear to everybody. Please, guys. I understand, yes. Okay. I understand that everybody wants vegan, but you know, sometimes, especially like I have a friend over here, she's a very good chef. She faces some problems as well sometimes. Like because people go like, oh, I want plant-based, I want gluten-free, I want nut-free, I want, yes, you can have fresh fruits. Can, no problem. You know, so there's a trade-off somewhere. So if it's gluten-free, chances are it's not nut-free. If it's nut-free, chances are it's not dairy-free or something. I mean, it's not plant-based, and so you have to pick and choose what you want to use. You cannot just like this product is completely everything free, allergen-free. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay. I need you guys to understand this. This is very important because a lot of times, especially for business owners, you have this issue of, oh, I want this, and in the end, what do you want me to serve? You know, like really, I don't have anything that is free of all the allergens, you know, and even so that what you need to embrace in a bigger picture is I am in a shop, if I have a shop that has allergens as well, then what? You know, so yes, my product here don't have allergen, fine, but my facility has allergen, then what? You know, so you need to explain. So this is very important for you to understand as business owners, and also for your customers to understand as well. So to protect yourself, I would always say plant-based, but used with caution. Okay, right. So now, oh, hello. So as we move on, let's look at the ingredients. First is chia seed. The chia seed, I grinded it into powder. Why? Better absorption lah. How do you grind? Easy. Where's that thing? The thing. I want to show the thing. Okay, so before we go on, this is Hoi. Hoi is your one-stop solution for everything. So, because this is Hoi, Hoi uses canned wood. Personally, I don't endorse any brand, alright? But they give me canned wood. Mana? Where's that thing? Okay. You know the one that you used to blend? Where'd you put it? The food processor thingy, majiki. Wait. Oh, cepat. So, dia tengah stress. So, okay, this I don't know how much this called, apa nama dia ni? Do you know? Yes, I know, it's canned wood, thank you. It's called Major Titanium. They sell it downstairs. Why is this interesting? It's because of this style. So like this thing, right? I can take out, right? I have 2 of it, actually. Ada? Yang ni? Ada. Okay, don't stress him out. He's like very stressed already. Okay. Come on, Kenny. Tak ada? Alright. Alah, kesian dia. So this one actually has a blender attachment. Ada? She understands me. That's Kenny punya colleague lah, which is nama dia Kaiwan. She very good also. But this is it's okay. Stress. Tenang. Alright. So basically, what I want to tell you is what you need is that you need a blender, the small one, the spice blender. You understand what I mean or not? Because the amount that I'm using here is very small. So if you use a big blender or you use the home one, the one that looks like that, chances are it's like everywhere and it's not blended. So if you have a spice blender, which hopefully it can come by, yes? Oh, now the whole team is coming here. I nak benda ni je, the attachment. Ada tak? I nak tunjuk the attachment without everybody panicking. So ada. Tenang. Stress. Okay, thank you. Mana dia punya bawah dia? Alright, so anyway, it looks like that. You see, Team McHoy is very bekerjasama. So one person got issue, everybody help. This is good. Thank you, Hoy. Tak apa. I nak tunjuk je. It's okay. Tak apa. Thank you. Siap lap sekali. I tak pakai pun. Alright. Tak apa. Tenang. Tenang. Can you take the other one, the bigger one, so I can show what kind of attachment they have, yang besarnya. Alright. So basically, I use this one. So it's very cool. Again, I don't endorse canned wood. There's no canned wood on my jacket. So I don't endorse. But you can put your chassis inside here like this, right? This is super cool. When I saw this, I was like, wow. Major titanium. So I ambil ni, I masuk sini. I like that. And then it works. So it's so cool. For one machine, you can get like this one. It's already in. So you can do a spice blender. So I blended it already. using this. But because I'm also in Hoi, I'm kind of like trying to show you what else they have, so you can like the major titanium, which is a pretty cool machine. Berapa harga? Berapa harga?
Harga ada promotion hari ni. Dekat bilik sebelah kita ada semua jenis kuih produk.
Yes.
Kita boleh beri pesan nanti. Kita punya 6%. Don't worry.
Yes, and before anything, I like to tell you I don't have a promo code, so tak ada tiba-tiba promo code hashtag Chef Arief, tak ada lah. I tak ada. So I'm just telling you, benda ni cool lah. You can do many things with it. Tak apalah kalau tak ada, tak apa. Later can show. It's okay. Jangan stress. Perkara kecil. Alright, so I use that to blend. So what I'm trying to tell you is, it's very easy, just blend. Why? Because the amount is small, this is enough. Even though you do 2 times, 3 times, 4 times the recipe pun, the amount is very small. Because if you look at the ingredient here, I only need 17 grams. That's not a lot at all. Alright? Great. So any questions about the chia seed? No. No question. Alright, so let's move. Okay. Tak apa, I tak sorry. Okay. Thank you. I tak ada rambut, so that's why the you know, that's that problem lah. I don't have hair. Yeah, but you know, it works well with me. So, again. And also, it's graying a bit, and I'm still getting used to the gray hair thing. Okay. Yeah, I know, right? I don't know. So, okay, as we go on, so that's that. Sugar is sugar. Okay, so all of the sugar that I use in my recipes, I use castor sugar. Why do I use castor sugar? Because castor sugar is very fine, and when castor sugar is very fine, it dissolves easily. That's the only reason why. Or super fine or castor sugar is okay. If you don't have, you can use a normal sugar, but sometimes, not a lot of people know, when you make butter cake and all that, right? When there is no serious cooking or whatever, we just cream the sugar and the butter, especially if you're making a big amount. When you bake, you have like pimples on your cake. That's caused by the sugar not dissolving. So use the super fine sugar. Add the extra 10 cents, I think. 1 kilo is 289 for superfine, and then for castor, and then 279 for normal. So the extra 10 cents can make a big difference. If you want to look for fine sugar, they sell it in Hoi as well. Very good. What about brown sugar? Okay, very good question. Brown sugar you can use, but the issue is janganlah gaduh. Relax tenang. Ni Chef Tiger, he's very strict. Yeah, so yes, thank you. The name already says it all. So yeah. Okay, now fix it up. Okay, great. So brown sugar, can we use brown sugar? Yes, we can. The only thing is anything that has brown sugar inside will taste a bit like brown sugar. So if that's not what you want, sometimes it could be an issue. It's just like honey. Like when somebody tells me, I want to use honey, can I use honey? Yeah, you can use honey, no problem, go ahead, use honey. But the thing is, when you use honey, anything that has honey will taste like honey. Sometimes that's not something you want. So does that answer your question? Is it possible to use? Yes, please, go ahead and use. Just that it has that caramelized molasses taste in the end. But that's up to you. You know, if you like, use that. So, okay, and then there's that. And the next one we have is water. Water, you can just use normal water. Malaysia, we can use the tap if you want. But I'm sure most of you have a subscription to Kuku, Kowe, all these other things. Good. Or you can use mineral water also, no issue. Alright, and then after that we have coconut milk. Okay, sorry, coconut cream. Atau dalam bahasa Melayu dia santan kotak. Alright, so if you want to use normal santan, is the first pricing lah. I want the fat content. And also why I use santan kotak is because santan kotak brand yang I pakai adalah Kara. Tapi kalau you ada brand lain, pakailah, okay je. Santan kotak is good because it also has a bit of stabilizer, especially if you want to whip something. I will explain to you when I do something else later. And then the next one, I have my dry ingredients. So in my dry ingredients, I have bread flour. Why? Because I want it to be a bit stronger, stronger gluten content. I have baking powder. Over here, I think we're using double acting. If you want to know double acting, single acting, what's the difference? The difference is reaction. So the double acting will react twice. Once when it's hydrated, the next time is when it's heat. The single acting will only start to react when it's hydrated, not on the heat. So I like double acting, especially if I want to make a base that will stay in the fridge overnight. Okay, double acting baking powder. Yes. If you want to use single acting, also can. The only problem is the single acting baking powder doesn't last so long, as far as aeration is concerned. All right, and then over here also I have salt. I like to use sea salt. Why I like to use sea salt? Because sea salt is less salty, if that makes sense to any of you. Because iodized salt is very salty. Not very salty, the saltiness is a bit more artificial. Hey, where are you going? Oh. Why? Not interesting ke? Right, so you can go too if you want. Right, so very easy. So we have all the ingredients ready. Mr. Kenny has already stand by for me. So first things first, what I want to do is everything is weighed out. I want to grind my chia seed powder first. So when it's grinded, next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to add the chia seed, the sugar, and the coconut water, and the water, sorry. Okay. Why? You can do this beforehand. Means you want to hydrate the chia seed first. You can do that beforehand, no issue. But for me, I just do it one time. Why? Because especially if you have a kitchen, a team, sometimes they can forget. So just a quick advice for you, especially for those of you who own businesses. It's very important to make sure that your processes are simple. Why? Because you have staff, and staff can make mistakes. So because of that, I like to make my recipes very straightforward, very easy. So the more steps you have in recipe making, the more mistakes you might possibly get, you know. So that's why I would like, my products are very, very simple most of the time. And the reason it's simple is because I don't want mistakes. And Mr. Kenny over here, he doesn't make any mistakes. So I take water and coconut cream, I put it together first. Thank you. And I mix them so it breaks apart. Everybody can see, right? Yeah. So after, when it breaks apart, the sugar and the chia seed, I put it together, I mix them up. So for all of you who don't know, anything with chia seed is always advised for you to let it hydrate first. All right. So because I want to make my mix, and it's not super difficult. If you realize, I'm not using a mixer, I'm just using my hand. It's very easy to do. So I make sure they're together. So inside here, there's water, there's coconut cream, there's chia seed, and there's sugar first. And then the second one, my dry ingredients are here, right? So what I want to do is just, I'm going to put everything in. And can you pass me the coconut oil? Panaskan dulu. In the microwave, yeah. So right now, she's back. Hello. So I mix them together so there's no any lumps. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add my deodorized coconut oil. Why deodorized coconut oil? Because it doesn't have any taste. Strong taste. That's all. How to get? Well, most of the time we're in Malaysia, so we're very lucky. It's not super expensive. Anything that cooking coconut oil, you can use. Okay. Some people, they're a bit more stringent about it, so they want something like virgin coconut oil. You can use as well. No issue. Why I like to use coconut oil? Because the coconut oil, number one, if it's virgin, if it's virgin, it's thank you. If it's virgin, it's good. What I mean good means it will set at cold temperature. It means if you leave your coconut oil in like a aircon, it will become like butter texture. That's what I want. And other oils, that doesn't really happen. So before you ask, can I use olive oil? No, it's not the same. Because olive oil, you can put it outside, it won't set. Coconut oil can. The problem is, most of the time, coconut oil have coconut taste. So if you don't want, you can use deodorized coconut oil. Clear? Great. So I put the hot coconut oil inside. Why? Because if I don't put hot one at 50 or 60 degrees, what's going to happen is if the ingredients inside is cold, it's going to set, and my batter is going to split. So the idea is I want to make sure everything is at room temperature, then the coconut oil is a bit warm, it's fine. But if everything else is cold, like your santan is cold, your water is cold, the moment you put a coconut oil that's not warm inside, it's going to set, and then it's going to split. And when we talk about splitting is just basically happens when the fat structure solidifies, and then you keep adding air into it, then it's just going to break apart. This happens with your buttercream, your butter cake. That's why for me, every time when I want to make a batter, I would usually make it at room temperature, especially the eggs. But in this one, there's no eggs. So as you can see now, my batter is already solidified. It's very thick. Right? If you leave it overnight, it's going to be thicker and it's going to absorb. So Chef Kenny over here is going to put everything inside here. So now, let's recap. What did I do? Very easy. Sugar, water, chia seed and coconut cream, mix, dry ingredient, put inside, mix, done. I would always advise to do this a day in advance or 4 hours before. Why? Not a lot of people know. You know, whenever you bake the cake, sometimes the cake will become a bit slim on the side, right? It's like that, and not a bad thing if it's not cake, but if it's cake, it's a bad thing because you don't want this. Anything else, it's okay, you know. So that happens primarily because the starch particles has not been fully absorbed. You know, so when the starch particles is not hydrated, what's going to happen is going to pull. That's why your cake lari the shape because of this. So if you rest your batter, the starch absorbs the water, so it can come up straight. Okay? Some of you already know this, but I'm just saying it for the ones who don't. All right, so before we continue, can you pass me that, please? Thank you. Any question about making the base? No? No question? No question? You sure? All right. So over here, I'm using this mold. All right. This is the people in Hoi call it the sponge finger base. You can get it in Hoi. Berapa harganya? Kami tak pasti. Tapi I think it's about RM15 kot. I think. I tak sure. Why do I use this one? Because I suka. Sebab dia cantik, dia panjang. Kalau you tak suka, tak payah pakai. Okay je. Alright, tapi I like to use this because it's versatile. You can make all kinds of cake kan, just with this. Easy. And RM15 is not a very big investment lah. I think it's RM15 lah, I tak sure. You can check with the very helpful team outside. So, usually I would put inside the chiller for overnight. But I don't have overnight because I'm not seeing you tomorrow. I will take this. Oops, sorry. I will cut the bag. Oh, sorry. He wanted to show that. He's a good salesman. You see the one that I have on the picture and the one you tasted is actually made in this mold. RM15.90. Hoi. Sentiasa di hati. Alright, so I take the cake batter and I will pipe it. About half or slightly more than half is fine. If you want to be sure, what you can do is you weigh. It's easy. I'm not weighing because I'm eyeballing. I'm showing you, but I don't know. It can be. You know what? Let's try. Can you get me a weighing scale, please? Yes. Tak payah. It's definitely pipeable. It's like somebody who's done madeleines and all that. It won't be hard. If you letak dalam freezer, yelah, dia akan jadi keras macam batu. But besides that, tak ada. Anything with a very high sugar percentage, ada skill tak, adik? Skill. Cari. Okay. Alright. So anyway, nanti dia cari, and then we're going to pipe. So you can pipe slightly more than half, and then you can bake. Oh. Scale, tahu scale? Weighing scale. Timbang. Bahasa Mandarin dia apa? That thing, yes, turn. Turn, sia. Okay, dua. Okay, so very easy for me. Tapi tak ada bateri. Yang tu, okay, thank you. Tak apa, jangan nervous. Good job. Alright, so right now I check lah. Usually I akan letak atas tray, tapi I just want to see how much the weight of one is. So I would say for this particular mold, about 50 grams. 50 grams. Okay, so thank you. So we pipe, we bake. Alright. So what temperature do we bake? We bake it at 160 degrees Celsius. In all of my recipes for cakes, I like to use the fan oven. Fan force. I like to use fan force. Why? Because I don't want a lot of crust. If you use the deck oven, it's going to take a bit longer time and you're going to have a slight crust to it. Ada skin. But if you don't mind, sure, use lah. If you want to use a deck oven, I wouldn't say 160, I would say 165. And over here it says 40 minutes if I am using a mold like this. Like this one. Itu apa? Okay. I would use a mold like this, so about 40 minutes. For that one, about 25 minutes, it's done. Okay. So tap. Inside the oven. Alright? Any question? No. Because we only have until 12. Okay? Yes? Small one, about 20, 15 to 20. Yes, of course. Because it doesn't have eggs, so it doesn't, thank you. It doesn't coagulate like eggs. You know, eggs, when it reaches 85, it will start to coagulate. It doesn't have any eggs, so it's going to take a bit of time. All right? Great. Did I answer your question? Yeah. So, very interesting point. I was attending a demo the other day, over here actually, in Hoi. The chef was making a travel cake as well. So, he had a specific way of checking things, which I agree 100%. Which was, if you want to make sure, so the first time you bake, for example, 16 or 20 minutes, right? And then you're going to take this thing, called a thermometer, next time. And then this moment you say, oh, it's cooked, and then you check the internal temperature is how much. Say, katalah 95, 96. And then from that onwards, that's how you check. You check, oh, 96, siap. That's how I would do it. So for me, every time when I do something, I don't like to teach people skill. I tak suka. Why? Because if I teach people skill, it's very hard to translate. One. Number two, for those of you who have stuff, they will leave. And then, bye-bye your skill somewhere else. The next shop is going to do better. So, no, because I don't like to teach skills because there's a lot of variables. So if you teach someone, oh, this is how it's supposed to look like, like this, it's not good. It's better you put time, temperature, weight. This is the best way to teach someone. Because in the end, it will be the same. So my 30 grams and her 30 grams, same 30 grams. But if I say, oh, it's supposed to flow like this, no. Okay. And I also have a friend, she's a chef, very good chef also. That day she was talking to me about making Swiss rolls. And then she said, oh, you know, I do something called I do specific gravity. I don't know if anybody know what specific gravity is. So specific gravity is a test to see how much air is inside something. So when you make Swiss roll, you need to make a foam, right? So like when you make a foam, when do you stop, right? So specific gravity is you take, like for example, this is easy way to put it lah. You take a normal jug, you weigh the jug, you add water. If it's full, it's 100 grams. So the same jug, you take your mix, you put inside, and you full, and you check the weight lah. That's how you know. Is it more enough whip or not whip? Which, for example, if it's full, it's 100 gram, and then you put again, it's 30 gram of your meringue. Example. So it means it's already there. So specific rate, you're calculating the amount of air incorporated inside based on volume. So this is a good thing to have. This chef very good. It's a friend of mine. All right. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I would always teach someone. I would always tell them time, temperature, you know, especially for cakes. For some of you who make cakes, right? Sometimes it's like, oh, it collapsed. Oh, sometimes it's not tall enough. Just use specific gravity. At least you can know if it's whipped enough or not. But of course, there are other variables, like if you whip it too fast, you will reach the specific gravity, but then it's going to split, things like that. So but you create things like, I want it at speed number 4 for 3 minutes, end result specific gravity of 30 grams per this mole. It's based on the mole that you use. I need to highlight this. It's not that size, it can be smaller, whatever, but it has to be like this. Okay? Clear? Great. So, sponge is done, it's also inside the oven, baking. Great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the whipped praline, the second thing. What is a whipped praline? Well, it's basically this one, which is a praline paste. What is a praline? Thank you. A praline is nuts and sugar that's been grinded. There can be 2 types of praline. You make the caramel, you pour into your nuts, and then you blend, which is the caramelized praline. The other one, you don't make the caramel, you use normal sugar, and then you blend with your roasted nuts. It has 2 completely different flavors. This one is a caramelized praline. It's 60%, meaning 60% of the product is the nuts, 40% is sugar. Cool. What kind of nuts? I'm using hazelnut. In Valrhona, we have hazelnut. We have a mix of hazelnut and almonds. We also have almonds. We also have pistachios, but the pistachio we don't bring. And we also have pecans and things like that. This very good friend of mine, which is a chef also, she uses to make pecan praline. So she made pecans, caramel. I think so. You caramelize the nuts, right? You caramelize the sugar. This is the chef actually. So she make the caramelized sugar onto the pecans and blend. But ratio can be different. Can be 50-50, 60-40, depending. And also the nuts fat content is different. Yeah. So pecans and hazelnut and almond nuts have different. So you might want to check how much sugar you want to put and how long you want to blend. And the blender also is very important. If you blend it for so long and it overheats, it's going to split. So that's why in the production of making praline, if you see, it's better to use the spice grinder, the one with the 2 rocks. Indian cooking use a lot. It's like 2 rocks that turn like this, and then you put your thing, but it's going to take a longer time, but the temperature is not going to go too high. It's going to stay, but this one if you're making a bigger batch of praline. For some of you, I don't know, if you follow one of the more famous pastry shops in Malaysia, like Lashe or whatever, you see that they use that thing as well. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can make your own praline, but I would always advise to buy, because when you buy, the texture same, the nuts you get is the same. That's why. But if you don't mind, if it's a seasonal thing, yeah, you can just use normal nuts to do it. Okay, and sometimes whenever you want to make praline, the most important thing you need to understand is how fresh or how good the quality of the nuts that you are using. If the nuts you're using is very old, especially for hazelnuts, it's going to have a rancid taste, something slightly more acidic, which is not cool. All right, so how do we do this? First things first, very simple. I got my praline. Over here, I'm using 275 grams. And then I have this one called Almond Inspiration. So Almond Inspiration is, you see over here on the right, it's the inspiration range. It's just basically sugar, cocoa butter, and almond. So we have strawberry, raspberry, almond, yuzu, passion fruit, 5. So this one is the almond one. Okay, so Almond Inspiration, warm up, inside into your praline. You mix them together. For dramatic effect, I'm going to table it a bit lah. Usually, I don't do so much. Why? Because if it's at the right temperature, I don't need to table it. Why I mean tabling is, I want to get everything down to 24 degrees Celsius. How? I table it. If you don't want to table it, what you can do is you make sure that your chocolate is melted enough and your praline is not very hot, and then you put it together. Go down to 24, you can use already. So what you want to do is you're stabilizing the crystals, that's all. So because I'm also doing a demonstration and honestly, I kind of want to look cool a bit, so that's why I use this. But usually, I don't do it. You know, a funny story, I'm in my team, I'm very well known to not like to table chocolate. A lot of people like to table chocolate, especially my teammates, because when they do the demonstration, it looks pretty cool, like wow, so skilled. For me, I don't like it so much. Why? Apa bias ni? Because, number one, you have to have the skill. But it looks cool lah. Like when I do it, like wow, I'm gonna show you now. So, you know, so basically, I'm making it like that, right? I'm cooling down the temperature. So the marble table is always 2 degrees colder wherever it's at. So if your room is about 20 degrees, your marble is about 18 degrees. So what I want to do, I want to spread it out like that, right? Then what I'm going to do is going to combine it again. And then I check the temperature. Because my good friend Chef Kenny over here, he already did it. I mean, he already cooled it down. My product is now it's actually very cold already. Sorry, 20 degrees. It's fine. But if you warm it up, you want to lower it down by completely doing this, spreading it out, coming together, spreading it out, coming together. And again, for dramatic effect, I will show you again. But most of the time, I don't like to do it. Why? Because I have to teach someone, and you need skill. There's two ways. I learned it with two things, but there are also, the cooler way to do it is just with one. So you spread it out into a square, and you do this. And you pull. Also can, up to you. For me, I don't do. So for me, I like to play with temperature, meaning I make sure that my praline is not super hot, and I just warm one aspect of my chocolate and I add. Then I stable inside a bowl. Yeah. But if you are a demo chef like me, then go ahead, you know. Okay, and then the cool part they like to see is this one. You like that, and whoa, like that. They like to see this. I don't know why, but you know, they like to see that, you know, like they pull it apart. Okay. Yes, I know, I'm pretty cool. So you can come over and check also. There's none on the floor, I can assure you. Yeah, but I don't know if you script everything nicely and give to me after. So for me, you can do this, and you can keep it in the fridge, stable. So when you say whip, it's not whip until like a whipped cream. It's just to soften it up a bit. Okay. Now, that's done. And wow, look at that. So clean. This chef must be very good. I also, this friend of mine also, this chef, which I don't want to mention who, she also doesn't like to temper so much. on the table because it's she very busy in the kitchen and then it's not very clean. Especially if you don't have skill, you cannot do it well. So for me, I don't like to teach. I will still teach, but I prefer to play tempering inside the seed lah. Means inside one bowl. But you can choose not to do it. It's up to you. Right. So that's done. Praline is there. I already have one that I done yesterday. Inside the chiller. And then finally, I have this thing called the Eskimo, which is just my good friend Mr. Ni nanti panaskan sikit je. So, now, that's how you do it. You go down to 24, you can put it inside the fridge, and then you can soften it up and whip it. But please, bear in mind, you cannot whip it for a very, very long time, because it has a lot of fat inside. So when you add cold air inside fat, it's going to split. So you're just going to mix it up so it's soft enough for you to pipe. That's what you want to do. All right? So this is done. Ready? And the final one is the Eskimo. But I want to add something extra. So yesterday, 2 days ago, I decided to try something new. Meaning I tried to make a whipped ganache without whipped cream. So technically a whipped ganache is chocolate and cream that you whip. And you use whenever you want. Okay? Some people will use it to, replace the mousse. You can do that as well. So what you do, the classic whipped ganache is 1 part cream, 1 part chocolate, you make it into a ganache, and then you pour 1 more part cream, you blend, you put inside the fridge, you let it crystallize, the day after you whip. That's one way. The other way is, the new style is, you cook milk and potato starch, put it inside your chocolate, into a ganache, and then you put your cream, and then you whip. This is the new style. Why we use potato starch and milk? Because milk has lower fat percentage than normal cream. Because the full fat milk is only 4% fat. And 4% fat you cannot whip. You add the potato starch in order to give it a bit of starchiness so you can actually whip it. Oh, hello. It's okay, continue. So this one is, I tried the formulation. So to make a plant-based whipped cream, what I did was, I added 1 kilo milk, 30 gram potato starch, and then I cook it until it boils. And then I put it inside my chocolate, which is 580 grams of the Caraib, which is the 66% dark chocolate. I emulsify it into a ganache, and then I add 360 grams of coconut cream cara. So the milk that I'm using is, oat milk. You can use other kind of milk that is not animal. You can use oat, you can use almond, you can use soy if you want, soy milk, the unsweetened one, or you can use cashew nut milk. You can make yourself cashew nut milk or any kind of plant-based alternative. Over here I'm using this brand called Rusli. Rusli. It's okay. I like it. They sell it in classic. It's good. But there's also other brands like Oatside, Oatly, and yes, that's the only one I know. But Rusli is good. Use Rusli. All right. So, right. So in the end, what I get is, after I make it, I get like a ganache, a thick one, like this. Yesterday I made. And it's not in your recipe because I'm not confident that it would work, because I just tried it 2 days ago. But then it did. So that's why I'm telling you. Rusli is the secret. Use Rusli. Right. So, right. So what's going to happen is, but the thing is, the whipped ganache is not going to be super hard. So what you want to do, you want to whip it as hard as you can, and then you keep it in the fridge. What you're going to get after is actually whipped ganache that is like the whipped cream. This is a coconut cream whipped ganache. I think it's the first one in the world. I just did it 2 days ago. So yeah, really, oh, see, good. Oh. So we're gonna use this. So inside your recipe tak ada. Alright. So now what am I gonna do? Well, berapa temperature ni, bang? Berapa temperature? 3 lebih. Okay. Alright. So now we talk about the Eskimo. Eskimo very easy. Chocolate and oil. You can make Eskimo out of every chocolate. Okay? So it means if I want to do dark chocolate, same thing, 10% oil. What kind of oil? I'm using, hey, what brand you bring? What brand? The grapeseed oil? You, classic person, Cheryl. Don't know, Don't know, okay. Anyway, I'm using grapeseed oil. Why I use grapeseed oil? Because grapeseed oil doesn't have any taste. Why you laugh? I not. Okay, tak apalah. It's okay. Jangan sorry. So I use grapeseed oil because grapeseed oil doesn't have a taste. That's why. Can you use corn? Yeah, you can. Or you can use what's that one? Palm oil. You can. But I use grapeseed oil because I represent a French company. And in France, we have grapeseed. Okay? So we use. Thank you. Alright, so I take the Eskimo. Very easy. The thing that you need to remember whenever you're making any Eskimo is that it cannot be above 35 degrees Celsius when you use it. You don't have to temper it. Means you don't have to like up, down, no. You just melt it down to 35, is okay. Can use. Alright. Why do I use Eskimo? Because this whole week, today, is everything I do is actually travel cake. Travel cake means the cake that you can take to travel. Travel cake. So meaning it's not mousse, it's not gonna melt. Eskimo is good because the Eskimo is not going to melt. But I give caveat, not going to melt, meaning not going to melt. Tak apa, tambah. It's okay. Not going to melt means not going to melt at aircon room. Okay? But if you take to bring in your children's sports day at 36 degrees Celsius, it will melt. Okay? I straight away tell you. Why? Because the Eskimo is not going to be super hard as well. So if you temper chocolate and you dip something in tempered chocolate, if it's cold, it's going to be very hard. So especially when you want to cut your cake, it's going to break. So when you add 10% oil inside, it's not going to be so hard. So when you cut it, it's going to be easy. One. Number two, if you're making like those Magnum, you know Magnum when you dip something, if your chocolate doesn't have any oil inside, what's going to happen is the micro hole inside the chocolate that you don't see, it's going to push when it retracts. So your ice cream or something is going to have like, it's going to come out from your Magnum. If you realize, if you make like this, do you make Magnum, chef? Yes, she does. So how to fix it? Just add a bit of oil. 5%, 10% is good. You can go maybe up to 15 max, but at 15 it's very fluid. Okay, so can you put this inside the piping bag? This one, yeah. So now I already have my cake that I already baked. This is just now, not yesterday. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a simple decoration. This is my Eskimo. This is my cake. What do I need? I need a fork. Okay. This is called a fork. I like to use the fork one. You can also use a knife if you want. So I take the fork, I put like this. Right? My cake. I dip it like this. So it's almost coming on the top. I touch the bottom a couple of times to pull out the excess oil. And at the side, I scrape like this. I put like this. I go up, I go down. Already coated. One more time, I show. I take the fork. I dip inside. Can see, right? I dip as high as I want. I touch a few times. I scrape up. I touch on the table. I pull down. Just like that. And I continue. I like to use Eskimos a lot in my cakes because number one, they're versatile. Number two, it's quite temperature savvy. Means it doesn't have to be super hot. Because sometimes, you know, the room might be cold, but suddenly you have like 80 of you guys inside, right? So body temperature 36, and then the room temperature is going to be a bit warm. And then your cake is going to be not nice. So again, I take the last one. I dip down. I pull up. I scrape. Okay. So if you see, my cake was cold. Now, it's starting to set already. Can we? Where's the camera? No? Okay, tak apa. Tunggu kejap. So I mean it's starting to thicken and then it's going to set. Right. If your chocolate temperature is higher than 35 degrees, what can happen, especially if you're using dark chocolate, it's still going to set, but it's going to start to have a white streaks on it. So that's all. You don't have to temper, but just don't use it hot. Okay, and then again, one more time I show while I'm waiting for that to set. I type. So when you're using Eskimo, you can use Eskimo on a lot of things. Cake, you can use Eskimo to put on cream, but if you want to put it on cream, you have to understand that the Eskimo, the cream has to be cold. If the cream is not cold, it's going to pull down. At 35 degrees, your cream can be very soft because of this. And I take the last one. Why do I like to do this as well? Because, can take out, yeah. When you use the Eskimo, like you see, it's nice. And this one, when it sets, I scrape it, I put it back inside, I can reuse. That's all. Okay, yeah, just put it here. Thank you. So now, as you can see, my chocolate already start to set. Actually, I wait a bit, I can lift it up straight. I'm just going to put it in the chiller for like maybe 2 minutes to make sure it really sets. What's up? What conversation are we having? Why am I not part of it? Right. So, that's done. This is done. Any questions about the Eskimo? Where's my piping bag with the nozzle? Okay. So, now if you can see, when I pipe my... Oi. Oh, it's a bit too hard. Okay. You can actually soften it a bit more, but okay, no problem. Nervous. It's okay. Okay? Okay. Yeah. So you can soften it a bit more. Like this one, it's gonna burst my bag. Like you see, and because it's she didn't mix it a bit. It's okay. Tak apa. Ada itu bowl lah. Tak ni. Tak. Okay, tak apa. Ni. Tu, enak ni. Okay. Thank you. So, what we can do is we can soften it just a bit. Yeah. Right. Okay. Okay, I perlukan bantuan you. You mix sikit je, kasih dia soft sikit lagi, boleh? Betul? Okay. Alright. So now, I just put my cake inside the fridge, right? 1 minute, I think, while I'm talking to you. So because it's the Eskimo, I can hold my cake already. It's fine. It's already set. I can use. And the reason why I had to drag it is because I don't want excess. Just like that. Super easy. Okay? Great. So now, what am I going to do next? I'm just basically going to decorate it lah. Decorate with what? I have my whipped ganache and my whipped praline. So this is a completely plant-based cake. So now, before I continue, I need to ask, we have any question or no? Oh yeah, so you saw I drag it, right? It's because I want to have a straight line. I don't want excess. So if you don't drag it, you're not going to have this. What you're going to have is you're going to have a pool. It's going to like that. So the dragging is because of that. And this one, like I said, after you can just peel it off and you can put back and use. Very easy. And you can do pretty much Eskimo with all chocolate. With the exception of compound. Yes, why? Because first of all, compound chocolate is not really chocolate lah. Okay, and I don't want to talk too much about it because my company does not have any. Okay, why? Because this one is hydrogenated vegetable fat with chocolate, so it's not really the same thing. Okay, compound you don't need to do it because it already have oil inside, so you just melt and use. You don't need to temper. But how I put this? Okay. You know my V? Very good car. I drive. Reliable. Very good. You know Mercedes-Benz? Very good car also. But how you want to compare the Myvi and the Mercedes-Benz? You know, this is the Mercedes-Benz of chocolate. You know, you want to compare to the compound, it's not same lah. You know what I mean or not? Partly because of this as well, I need to explain to you. You cannot use something and claim it as the other. Because number one, that's not ethically correct. Number two, of course there's going to be a difference. You know, for some of you business people, remember us in Valrhona, we never expect you to change everything on your shelf to Valrhona. This has never been the case. What we want to do is we want to make sure you have targeted usage. Means you have, I don't know, 7 things in your menu. Maybe 1 thing you use us. The 6 you use whatever else you want to use. We never want to dominate the market like that. That's not how we are operating. So, but you cannot compare compound and us. It's not the same. And because of that, of course, the Mercedes-Benz price and the Myvi price not same. But am I saying Myvi is not good? I don't think so. I think Myvi very good car. But you cannot compare. It's not the same. You understand me, right? So that's what I mean. So if you want to position yourself as a premium brand, then you want to use premium product. And by using premium product as well, yes? Okay, because it's a question, I will answer it. But ideally, I don't like to talk about this product. Inside, okay, so just let's make apple to apple comparison. So for dark chocolate, couverture chocolate, is cocoa butter, sugar, and cocoa mass. These 3 things, technically lah. Okay. For compound chocolate, the cocoa butter, you either completely take out, or you put a bit. So for example, you know Cadbury? Is it a compound or couverture? Question. Compound. Not quite. Why? Because if you look at the label, they have cocoa butter inside. So technically it's in between. But then it depends. How in between? If the percentage of the cocoa butter is much, much higher than the percentage of the hydrogenated vegetable fat, it still can be considered something premium. But if it's completely hydrogenated vegetable fat, then it's compound. Does that answer your question? Thank you. Right, so now, dah masuk dah dalam piping bag. Betul, soft sudah. Macam hati saya. Cun. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically, now too soft lah pula. Tak apa. Okay, very soft. That's alright. So, okay. Right. Because this morning I was talking to my friend. She went to a demonstration yesterday, and the chef used a lot of praline as well. And she was kind enough to let me try. And she said, "Oh my gosh, too much praline." So I took her advice. I put less. Because the chef also was using. Okay, you can finish the other two. Thank you. So that, and then what I'm going to put next, I'm going to put my very nice whip ganache made out of Caraib. As you can see, it stands quite well as well. I'm very surprised actually. This one I tested it yesterday. I wasn't confident, but it works. I think because of the orasi. Okay, if you're thinking of oat milk, think orasi. Okay, if you're not sure what orasi is, I have my friends in Classic Fine Food over there. You can ask them. All right. All right. So, for me, ada pinggan tak? Pinggan tak ada dalam tu. Tak ada. Ada pinggan? Tak ada? Tak ada pinggan? Tak ada. Pinggan. Yes. Thank you. Alah, cute-nya. Satu, besar ni je. Panjang tak ada? Panjang? Tak ada. Okey, tak apalah. So, bagilah lebih daripada satu. I don't know, but okay. So for me, you can add the decoration with something else. What you can add decoration with? You can add crumble. No, this one he will finish. You can add fresh fruits if you want. But a lot of people don't understand this. But I would like to clarify with you. Whenever you make something, this is just my thought process whenever I'm making something lah. You first of all you think of the flavor that you want, whatever it can be. Hopefully it's chocolate lah, and hopefully it's Valrhona Chocolate lah. So first of all you think of that the primary flavor is chocolate, and the next thing you need to think about is the aroma, because that is what identifies flavor. If you can't smell it, it's not going to be registered in your mind. So you have to think of the aroma. And then what you need to think about is textures. Means chewy, foamy, crispy, crunchy. You have to put it like that. And then finally, serving temperature. Is it meant to be cold, room temperature, warm, all that. When you have all of this aligned, then that's when you have a very good experience. If all of that is not aligned, then you're going to have a horrible experience. All right? Oh, very conservative. Sikit je dia letak. Okay. Tak apa. Tak nak jual barang ke? So with that, I conclude the demonstration today. If you have any questions, please, by all means, I can answer them now before we completely finish. Any questions?
Chef, can you share the recipe before I share it?
Orasi, yeah. It's 1 kilo of plant-based milk, 30 gram of potato starch, and then 80 grams of glucose. You put everything inside the pot. You boil it until it gelatinizes. Whenever you talk about starches, especially for those of you who make things like pastry cream and whatnot, you have to make sure it boils. When it boils, you stop, you take everything, and then you put it onto your chocolate. The chocolate I'm using is Arief 66%. I don't know if we have sample. You can try it later outside. It's a blue bag. And from there, you emulsify it into a ganache. And then you add your santan, santan kotak, which is in this case 360 grams. This is the Arief chocolate, 66%. It's not only Arief you can use other dark chocolate. But if you change to milk, it will not be any more plant-based because milk powder is not plant-based. Arief, Kara, 360 gram. I call it coconut cream because I don't represent Kara. They don't give me contract. 30 gram. No sugar, glucose. 80 gram. Why glucose? Because glucose is hygroscopic. It means your product won't dry out or crack. Right. And before you continue, if you want to talk about glucose, I use the DE60, dextrose equivalent 60. If don't have, for this, you can use normal glucose, is fine. If don't have, you can use corn syrup. Okay? We need to change our perspective. When you talk about expensive, right? Okay, this is a very good point. It's a very valid point. When you talk about expensive, a lot of people will tell me, it's so expensive, it's so expensive. If you are a business person, right? What's the number one thing for you to do business? You want to make money, right? Right. So it means if something is you buy is expensive, means you have to sell it expensiver than the initial product, right? So, but then in the same time, what's been neglected a lot all the time, it's not about the price. It's just how you position it. I like to use this example a lot because everybody can relate. So, everybody been to Inside Scoop? Yes? Yes? Okay. So if you notice how Inside Scoop does it, they also have a Valrhona chocolate ice cream, right? They do. And if you look more diligently, it's plus ringgit. If you look properly, just by slapping the Valrhona chocolate ice cream, plus 3 ringgit. So the point I'm trying to make is that if you're using valuable item, you can charge high value price with the fact that your product has to be up to par lah. You understand me, right? So that's what I mean. Like for us in Valrhona, we never expect you to change everything. I don't expect you to change from brand A, brand B, or brand C, whatever that you're using. Oh, everything changed to Valrhona. I don't expect this at all. But what we expect is we expect you to have targeted approach to your products. You know, so and it's not just us that's doing this, yeah. You can look now. A lot of business people, even the home baker, the biscuit maker for Raya. Oh, Kak, I don't want to support this brand. X chocolate chip cookies, boom. RM58 sebalang misalnya. Why? Because they use brand X. So if you use brand Valrhona, you also can charge tinggi lagi. Because what we can guarantee is quality. You don't walk into a LV boutique and go like, hey, what's the cheapest thing you have? You know, whenever there's value, you don't talk about price. You already know what. When you're purchasing something of high value, you already know you're going to pay X amount of price. You don't even like, hey, how come so expensive? Nobody does this. Nobody goes into a Ferrari and goes like, hey, it's too expensive, this car. Nobody does that. So if you are already business people who are looking towards to upgrade, maybe not everything, but 1 or 2 premium items to place, why not try us? You know, and what does that entails? It entails quality as it is. There's also a very famous brand in Malaysia who bank on this a lot. However, they don't show it very obviously. They show it when they're doing in the production. They will cut the bag, put in the bag, and we are the only brand that has a chocolate that does not look like a round. Ours look like a fav. They will use that. And it's no shame, and we actually encourage it that you use us as a marketing tool. Valrhona Chocolate Cake, plus RM3. It's possible. It's been done. It's been done. I'm not joking. It's been done. You can see, and it's accepted, right? So what stops you from doing that? That's what I mean. So I just like for you to shift your mindset a bit. That's all. It's not like I said. In the end of the day, it's food, you know. But come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's face the true reality of things. You do not need to eat cake to survive. Okay, let's just put it that way, lah. You need your rice, your beef, your chicken, all that stuff. Or if you're vegetarian, with all due respect, have vegetarian food. You don't need cake. You need cake as an indulgence, something to treat you extra. What's wrong with having a reasonable indulgence at a more premium outlook? Right? So that's what I mean now. Any other questions? Because if you don't have, I'm going to say good. Oh, yes, another one, yes. Please. Oh, good question. This is a very business to business argument. I will explain. Yes. Well, when you repack something, what happens is you are taking the risk of quality. You understand, right? That means it's not void, but it's just I'm the principal. I'm from Valrhona. Like if Kenny decides to repack something, for whatever reasons he might use, is it going to change majorly? No, it's not going to change majorly. But there is that window of the repacking. You understand me, right? So that's all. But is it going to change? I don't think so, especially if it's very stringent. And I know this House of Ingredient does repacking for our products. Why? Because most of you are not going to purchase 3 kilos, right? Let's be honest. But because I've been working with House Ingredients for quite a while, I also know that they're very strict about these things. So as far as that's concerned, I cannot guarantee you 100% that is no difference whatsoever. But I can tell you that they're very strict about it. So there's not so much difference in the repackaged ones, except the fact that it's a different packaging, one. Number two, it's a different size. Does that answer your question? Thank you. Any other questions? Yes. Oh, you have a question. You have a question. All right. Okay.
From online customer.
Our online customer.
So, one question is, can we substitute the custard powder to replace the egg yolk in egg?
Can we substitute custard powder to replace egg yolk in egg? Oh, this has nothing to do with what I did, but I will answer you this question. Well, first things first. What is custard powder? Anybody knows? No? Custard powder is cornstarch plus yellow color. Sometimes there's some vanillin inside, depending on manufacturer. So essentially, it's a cornstarch. Essentially. So is it apple to apple? The answer is no, it's not. However, where this question is coming from, I kind of have understanding lah. Because although there is custard powder, there is also the other version from the premix brands, which you don't have to cook. Which means you just add water and you get custard. Right? There's a couple of brands, I don't want to mention who, but like they do this. So based on that, you can get this question of, can we replace? But that one, the non-cooked custard powder, if it's the proper one, it's not just cornstarch and color. There's something else inside. Answer your question? Great. Any more questions? Yes. It could be because when it's too hot, so the crystals of the cacao crystals, they break out apart a bit. So that can happen. It's not just dark chocolate. I'm saying dark chocolate because it's very obvious. You can see. If it's like white chocolate, it's a bit hard to see. But so okay, so not if you're not aware. So when you talk about couverture chocolate and all that, it's made out of cacao crystals that align. So if it's not aligned, if it's chaotic, that's where you get a lot of streaks. And this thing is called blooming. I can talk to you about it later on. I don't want to bore everyone else. But so basically, what I would do, that's why I said I just maintain within the 35-degree range, so it's somewhat aligned, so it doesn't come out and split to become white. Does that answer your question? Yes, there was one at the back. No? No more questions? No? Yes? Egg yolk? What? Yes, correct. Okay, yes. Very good question. So when you talk about eggs, it's yolk and white. The chia seed replaces whole eggs. The bean water replaces the egg white. Yeah. Egg yolk, I don't really use so much to make cake. More for custard filling, I would use more because egg yolk is predominantly fat. So does that answer your question? Yeah. Anyone else? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so yes, it will, because when you blend it, it somewhat opens the particles, so better absorption. So when you, if you have made chia seed pudding or overnight oats and things like that, you realize that you don't blend it. You put the chia seed with the liquid and then you leave the next day, it will jellify a bit because it's not broken apart. So it instantaneously happens because it's blended, one. But my concern is not so much the hydration of the chia seed, it's more the absorption of the flour with the liquid. Answer your question? Anything else? No? Going once? Going twice? Okay, close. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Chef. Thank you, everyone. So we have photographer. Okay, before kita end this session, we have a photographer session first. So wait for instruction for our colleague, and then we end this. Photographer is coming. Yeah, photographer is coming. Okay, penonton di Instagram dan juga Facebook. So itu sahaja daripada kami. Thank you. Bye bye.